Hello everyone, it is Akari. Not a comic drawer, but a comic artist. I know, crazy right? And wouldn't you know it, today we'll talk about comics. Specifically this little indie comic called The Dangers Outside, by yours truly. What? Akari doesn't only draw Sonic? How preposterous! But it's true. Now, I have only not one comic, but two comic sagas, which is a funny thing that most people do not know. But there goes a fun fact about myself. And today, dear viewer, is the 5th anniversary since I debuted with The Dangers Outside 1. So you could say this day is very dear to me. So, in commemoration, I'll talk about my published comic OCs. If you want to know even more about them, then you're in luck. I have the greatest recommendation for you, so go check out my Unvale page. There's more info about my OCs, and there can be info about your OCs too. Since Unvale is a free website with more than 2,000 users that are all creators. And the devs are creators themselves, so it's a win-win situation because creators are always put in first there. Also, fun fact about this website, it is 100% AI free. It doesn't get better than this. I think that's the cherry on top of this delicious cake. Because holy, I think that's my favorite aspect of this community, apart from that everyone is super duper nice and supportive over there. And I know this has nothing to do with the topic, well, kinda, a little bit, but I'll be joining Artfight this year, so let's go Team Crystals! And with that said, Unvale was a lifesaver to organize my ref sheets for my OCs this year. And I'll leave a link to my Artfight page if you wanna check it out. And to everyone in this battlefield this year, I wish you luck! But I'll also leave a link in my description for Unveil so you can check out my page of my characters, and for the lovely OC creators watching, you can go check it out and put your OCs in there. But anyways, now let's talk The Dangers Outside. Before I give you some backstory on the comics themselves, here's a brief synopsis of them. The Dangers Outside is about these three chaotic fairy best friends. Raven, an optimistic and cheerful fire fairy that loves adventure even if it unintentionally causes trouble for everyone else. Lou, a strong-headed flora fairy that has a knack of getting the trio out of trouble on the daily, even though she was also a part of the trouble they caused. And Christine, who we lovingly nicknamed Teen in the story, a shy but strong water fairy that loves the chaos the three create, but in a more soft way. This story starts with these three young fairies that earned off the title of the Triple Trouble Trio, who were instructed to pick up some materials in the outskirts of the Oaksbury Fairy Village, just to get some peace around the village. And everything was going well as it can be with these three on the job, until Kathleen, annoying water fairy, and Christine's Kathleen appears. Kathleen banters with the trio and argues that she has broken the one rule in the kingdom, that is, the one rule you should not break. Do not leave the outskirts of the kingdom, as there are brutal monsters in search for the last magical beings that reside on Earth on the hidden Oaksbury Kingdom. And to the surprise of no one, the trio doesn't believe her. Kathleen has a talent to exaggerate and lie about things after all. Teeny-weeny problem that only drives Kathleen to prove herself, and out of the kingdom she goes. And the trio wait and wait and wait, but she didn't came back. So naturally, they went in search for her. But after seeing some terrible things, the trio accidentally triggered the downfall of the magic kind. A sort of apocalypse, if you will. What did they see? How will their little fairy survive? Go give the comic a read. But after that brief synopsis that I accidentally made longer because I got too excited about narrating it, you get kind of the gist of it. It's a bit of a dark story with bits of horror, which I know it's completely off my aesthetic, and I find it hilarious, because some people have come to me through DMs or in real life after reading the comic and they were shocked that this wasn't a cutesy magical girl-esque sort. That's another fun fact about myself. I love horror, even if it doesn't look like it. But Akari, I hear you asking, how were you inspired to write and illustrate this story? Well, it's a bit of a funny story, you see. I had never dreamed of anything in all my life that was like completely relevant, you know, some fragments of stuff, of memories I get, but not really dreams, you know? not lucid dreams, not in dreams in any way. But when I did, for the first time, I got this idea for this story. And ever since I've gotten this ability, when I dream, I get some very interesting story ideas, which is in the long run because I never dream. Haha, sad. And as I said, this whole The Dangers Outside saga came to me on a Sunday night before going to school way back in middle school. And that gives you an idea on how long this series has been on the works. I had the most horrific nightmare of the day. And I was afraid to sleep after, so I didn't, and went to school that way. Those were the times where I could sleep like 3 hours and be okay the rest of the day. Couldn't be me now. And ever since that nightmare, I started developing this story, with all the characters and places, since the dream I had looked almost like a movie, like I was watching it in third person. And at the time I realized, developing this comic can be a fun side project since I'll never have time to make it a real comic. Buddy, do I have news. I did have time to make it a real comic. And it all started with everyone's favorite year, 2020, the lockdown year. Yes, during lockdown I started doing this comic as a fun side project, no intentions of ever publishing it. And I just uploaded it on Webtoon or Tapastick. And I had fun with it. But in some way, I gathered a following and people started crowdfunding my comic to make it a reality, like an actual physical comic book. And who am I to say no to like completing a dream of mine, making a hardcover? Or a paperback, most accurately. And so I started working. By this time, I was in issue 2, and I finally get to the limit of my crowdfunding, and I start producing the book, and people were ecstatic about it. I have never seen like more excitement over a project I made ever since that event where I started publishing The Dangers Outside issue 1 and 2. And ever since then, I just been working on this series. It's almost like a yearly drop because making a comic is so hard. Like, it takes so long, and now it takes even longer because of my college and stuff. But it's always such a joy to make these comics and to see people enjoy and connect with my characters. It's honestly the best gift I could have ever gotten. But mushy feelings outside, that's how my debut on comics went. Right now I'm working on the 5th issue along with 2 other surprises that, if everything goes according to plan, will be up for you guys to enjoy around November or December-ish of this year. So stay tuned for that. And I really wish I could talk to you more about those surprises. I've been dying to tell anyone about it, but it wouldn't be a surprise if I told you, would it? Though if you're really impatient and want to know more, consider joining my Patreon. All members, including free ones, get some exclusive news of this channel or my creator-owned comics. Links will be in the description for you to check out. Thank you so much! But with that, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, that's all the time I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you want to see more of The Dangers Outside or getting to know my other comedic comic, Marinated Mess and the Art of Marinated Mess, please go check out Unvale. I promise you won't regret it. And as you check it out, leave a comment on who's your favorite fairy. I've heard that lots of people love Kathleen, even though she was designed to be annoying, and I couldn't tell you why they do, to be honest. But for now, let me thank you, our lovely channel members and Patreons, who get sneak peeks and more cool stuff. Thank you so much to Lover of Green, G Maripox, Stray Shells, BlueJ65, Judy, Heat Dragon, Kyo, and Servando Verdugo for all their support. And thank you, lovely viewer, for watching this Yapathon till the end. Keep drawing and stay rad, everyone. I have been Akari-san, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!